where you were born?
I was born here in Omaha.
In Omaha? Okay.
Uh-huh.
What part of town?
And I grew up in Dundee,
Dundee area?
4912 Chicago
Oh,
Street.
okay, okay. And you had some famous neighbors
Yes,
that
I
lived right
did.
on there?
Henry Fonda lived across the street from
okay.
me, Kitty Corner. And he had sisters, Harriet and Jane, and my sister Eleanor and I all played together.
Okay.
Had a good time.
Oh, sure. Now what were the years that you lived on Chicago Street?
Well, I was born in 1907.
Okay. And so you were born
Uh,
living in that house and as a child
yes, as a child
lived in
I
that area.
lived there.
What was in the early 1900s? What was that like? That whole area? There was.
Well, it was it's always been a nice area.
Oh, yes,
Dundee
yes.
has always been nice. And it really hasn't changed very much.
But were they building, because Omaha was growing so quickly back in the
Yes.
early teens and that sort of thing. So they were building homes around that area and farther west, right?
Yes.
You see a lot of that. And where'd you go to school at that
I
time?
went to Dundee School.
Dundee School.
And I was
Okay.
just a block and a half away.
Oh, so it was close by. Sure.
And you know, that original building is still there.
The original Dundee School?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
They just kept building on
And that was,
to Dundee School. And when I went, there were only 4 rooms in the school. 2 on the main floor, 2 on the second floor. And the janitor and his wife lived in the basement.
oh, okay, okay. So very, very close by. It's like just one big group there, that whole neighborhood, really, that you enjoyed, I'm sure, putting that all together.
Well, I always liked school.
Yeah.
I really did.
What was your favorite subject?
I just liked
Yeah,
them all.
just the whole being in class. So of course, back in those days, it was reading, writing, and arithmetic pretty much, wasn't it? That's the basics.
Well, I remember when I was in the 6th grade, we went into departmental, and we had algebra for the first time.
Okay.
And Miss Bracken lived across the street from us with her sister, and he was my algebra
teacher. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Very close by. So.
A very good teacher.
So did you like algebra? Was that
I
challenge?
always liked school.
Yeah,
I
whatever it
liked
was.
everything I took.
That was fun. Very nice, very nice. Well, now you remember some childhood memories, like games you used to play, that sort of
Yes.
thing. What?
We played hopscotch and jacks.
Yeah, jacks.
A lot of jacks.
Mm-hmm.
We played one game where you sat in chairs, and when the music stopped, you took away one chair.
Oh, okay. Musical chairs.
Finally, there was one person left. That was the winner.
The winner, yes, yes.
And Christmas was always so great for us. We made all of our Christmas presents. And the first time that I bought a Christmas present, it didn't seem like I was really getting a present.
Oh, okay. Because you made it already. Yeah.
We put a lot of love into
well,
those presents that we made.
Well, that's nice. That's the importance of it all.
We had a round building that was shingles on the outside and painted green. Had a basement, and that was really our playhouse.
Oh, okay.
We loved it.
Spent a lot of time
It was in our backyard.
playing and that with the neighbor kids.
And my father built a big shop. He washed our yellow rugs for a living, and it was a 2-story shop, and on the top was a roof an open roof with rails around, and he would hang the rugs that he had washed on those poles. How he ever carried those heavy 9 by 12 wet rugs up two
and put them on the rail
flights of stairs
to dry.
I don't know. He must have been terribly strong.
And that, now where was the shop? Was that at
It was
your
on
home?
the back of our lot.
On the back side.
In
Okay.
Dundee.
And so did he do repair on these rugs and that sort of thing? Or was it cleaning the rugs?
He would clean them on the main floor.
Okay.
And then on the second floor, my mother would wash the suits that our Dundee cleaning company had washed, and she used a 17-pound iron.
Oh wow. Yeah. To do the pressing. Oh, I see.
That's a
That's
heavy iron.
hard work. Yeah. Hard work compared to what they have
And
today.
then the phone would ring,
Yeah.
and she'd run down those stairs and into the house and listen to the phone. We didn't have extensions in those times.
So you had to go run for it. Yeah. Yeah, that was a different time. That's for sure. Growing up, now, when you saw your folks working so hard and they worked together, right? As a team. What did you see from that? What was your come away with?
Was a way of life.
The way of life to make ends meet and to have a family. Did whatever it took.
They had good jobs.
Yeah, that's right. Well, and they had their own. They worked for themselves, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
Their jobs were good.
Yeah, most definitely. That is very nice. Okay, I'm gonna scoot this a little bit closer as we're talking here. And then family traditions, because you said Christmas was an important,
Yes.
made a lot of your own gifts and
my mother would make cookies, and we would put the names of my girlfriends and boyfriends too on these cookies.
Oh, sure.
And hang them on the tree. And then when they come and visit us, we give them a cookie
There was
off
their
the
name
tree
on the
with
tree.
their names on it.
That's nice. That's a nice tradition. So you carried on that for years.
And my mother was always such a wonderful woman, and all my friends felt so close to her. And they were always welcome, and I could always give them a slice of bread with butter and brown sugar on it.
Oh, that was a treat.
So I always had some refreshments.
Oh, sure, that's nice. Entertaining your friends. That's nice.
And they knew they were welcome.
Now, as you grew up in this area, right on Chicago Street there, and in high school, now some of your high school memories. What was that like back in those days?
I, of course, went to Dundee School, and when it was time to graduate, everybody in the school went to Central except one boy, and we all felt so sorry for him. And I went, and I had all the getting acquainted to do, and we walked through the school and everything. And I was on my way. And then that summer, before school started, my mother said, "Florence, I think that a girl should be able to earn her own living in case she needed to." And so she thought I should go to Tech High.
Okay.
And so then I transferred to Tech, And at that time, Tech High was not finished building.
It was brand new. Okay.
In fact, they hadn't finished building it. And so for a year, I went to Tech High, and they had houses all along Leavenworth Street, empty stores, and that's where we had our lessons. And then
Before Tech High was built, then that's why they had the classes.
At the end of that year, why we could get into Tech High.
Oh, yes.
And it was a wonderful school, and the only school in the city with a swimming pool.
Yeah, that's brand new school like that, very nice. And now as you went through high school and that sort of thing, what did you like doing in high school? What was because you liked school so much, what was your favorite when you got through high school?
I suppose I was in plays, and I liked that. And I wrote a play.
Oh, okay.
And it was produced. And
what was the name of that?
The Post Hole.
Post Hole. Okay.
I wish I'd had a copy of it.
Yeah.
But I didn't save a copy of it. But I know there was another boy in it. He had the lead. And I liked him too. But he enjoyed being in it.
So they performed that at school?
And I was in lots of plays. We had lots of musicals. And it was a very good school.
Oh, technical high school, sure.
And of course, I took an awful lot of courses of studies that you needed to enter university. And then I entered Omaha University,
Okay.
which at that time was just a big building out north.
Oh, okay.
That was Omaha
University when they first started, before they moved to Dodge. That's very nice.
So I guess I was in the beginning.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. Now, when you went to university, what were your subjects when you attended there? Do you remember some of the?
Well, just the regular ones. I don't remember just what I took, but I enjoyed it. I really liked going to school.
Now, do you remember back high school and college days, the dances? Did you attend dances and that sort of thing? But, the big band and that sort of thing. Was it music of those days?
Yes, we had lots of music. And they'd have the children just go out in the yard and play for recess.
Oh, okay.
But they had a stage in this house, and they put on plays.
Oh, performed. That's nice. That's fun. So a lot of the neighborhood kids were part of that whole.
I don't know that they were just neighborhood kids.
Yeah, were they?
They were kids that, were qualified to go to high school or go to college.
Oh, I see. This is during college. Okay. Okay. So these were actually.
At Omaha U.
Oh, okay. And they had a stage set up for people that were interested in productions and that sort of thing. Oh, that's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I was in the beginnings of Omaha University here.
Some talented students there. Too, I'm sure you saw a lot of that. Oh, definitely.
And then after I graduated, I worked for published I tried to work for Omaha published stenographer. I went to Paxton Hotel, and they had one there. And she said, "Oh my," she said, I don't have enough to keep me busy, let alone hire
Hire somebody else.
And so then I started when I went to the World Herald building, and I went to the published stenographer there, and she said, oh, my, I don't have enough to keep me busy. And so I talked it over with my husband, and we decided maybe we should buy her business. And I did, I bought it, and I worked it up. And finally, I got so much that I established another office in the First National Bank. And
Now,
and
what was
another
this?
one
What was this
downtown.
business? What was this business that you started?
Published stenographer.
What was it again?
Published stenographer.
Oh, stenographer.
People used to come and have us write a letter, and they paid 25 cents for it.
Oh, okay.
That was big money those days.
And so you used stenograph machines and that sort of thing? Was it, or how did you print out these letters?
Oh yes, we had.
Machines to do it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Typewriters.
Well, okay, okay.
And then I also did some mimeographing. So, and then I ended up taking court reporting.
I see, I see.
And I worked for attorneys.
Stenographer. I see. Okay.
I worked for attorneys.
So how'd you meet your husband?
Well, one day I was in the girls' restroom, and a girl came up to me and she said, I'm a published stenographer, or I'm the stenographer for Reynolds Engineering Company, and I have a wonderful boss. His name is Kenneth Young.
Okay.
And he would like to meet you.
Oh, all right.
And so she kept telling me more about his qualities.
Yeah.
So that afternoon, I was in office with the two other girls. The three of us had a private office for our stenographic work. And I went outside to take a drink of water at the fountain that was out there. And he was there.
There he was. Okay.
And he introduced himself, and he said he would like to take me home.
Okay.
And so we agreed to meet down in the lobby. And we did. And then we stopped to pick up his friend in the telephone company. Before I knew it, both Art and he were dating me.
Oh, yeah. Yes. So, back in those days, what did you do on a date? What was, where did you go?
You always, almost always, you went to a show.
A movie.
A movie.
Okay.
And then they take you out to eat someplace. And then they take you home.
I see. Now, restaurants back in those days, what?
No, it was more...
Where did you go eat?
More, well, just like now, we don't go to a restaurant especially. We just go to eating places and drugstores and
hotels, restaurants, that
and,
sort of thing. I see.
In fact, the Blackstone Hotel was a favorite place to eat.
Yes. They had a nice restaurant there. Yeah.
Yes.
And movies of those days, you remember any favorite ones?
Yeah, we'd go to a movie.
Yeah. Do you remember any of the great movies from those times?
Oh, I don't right now remember any special movies, but I had stars that I liked and I'd go to.
Like, who was that? Who did you like?
See them especially.
Yes, that's who you went to go see.
But,
the movie stars.
But We had a good time.
Yeah,
Oh, and we go dancing at Peony Park,
Peony Park.
and we go
Okay.
swimming
Yeah.
at Peony Park.
The big band? The
Oh, yes.
orchestras?
hmm
Mhm.
That was really great. And in those days, if you had a date and you were dancing, you didn't have to stay with one partner. It was according to how popular you were, really. How many different boys would ask you to dance.
Your dance card was full, yeah.
And I loved to dance.
Yeah, that's nice.
And my mother would let me go to Peony Park.
Mhm.
She was very particular where I was taken.
Right. Yeah. Well, that was a nice place back then. It was a
Mhm.
beautiful ballroom
And we did a lot of swimming there.
at Peony. Now, did they have the sand beaches that in the swimming pool at that time? Was it sand for the swimming area? Or was
Yes, there was sand in the swimming area.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Yeah, because that was up until the.
And I loved to swim.
Oh, yeah.
I really could
Mhm.
swim. And I could dive.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
one time at Tech High, I was getting ready to dive, and the instructor was making more signs,
Mhm.
and he said if you had gone down the way you were going to, you would have broken your back. So diving, high diving,
Oh,
can
yeah.
be
Be
dangerous.
careful. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, very dangerous.
I loved every bit of it. And the first time I ever heard that anybody would steal anything,
Mhm.
I went swimming after it was the last class at high school. And I had a car fare and some money,
Mhm.
and I went swimming, and I came back, and there was nothing in my purse except one card check.
Oh, and that was.
Some,
Did somebody
I had
grab it?
never heard of anybody stealing
Gosh.
before.
Yeah. So you learned a hard lesson there. Yeah.
But I thought
Yeah.
they were pretty nice to leave me a card check.
At least,
I
yeah.
take it home.
Oh yeah. Leave it with at least a way to get home. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh gosh.
In those days, we had cars.
Mhm.
You could go any place in a car.
Oh sure. Yeah. Now, when you went to these dances at Peony Park, you went, of course, accompanied by a date, right? When you went to the dances,
Accompanied by
a,
others.
a person would pick you up and take you to the dance.
Oh,
You wouldn't go by
yes.
yourself.
Well, oh no, I'd
No.
never go by myself.
Yeah, so you had a date,
Yes.
accompaniment, but then you could dance with anybody. Isn't that kind of how it works?
Well, you waited till somebody asked you.
Yes, yeah.
Right there.
Right. And you were busy on the dance floor
Always.
throughout the whole night. Yeah.
I was a good dancer.
Yeah,
They
there you
wanted
go.
to dance with me.